Hello and welcome to episode 3. No, episode 2.
No.
Is it episode 3?
Episode 3.
Dear God.
Okay.
Episode 3 of Creative Rehab.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you still in a mood with me?
Oh, no. Why would I be in a mood with you?
Something really awful happened and I just want to make sure that you're not angry with me anymore.
Okay, what happened?
Basically, what happened was I came to your house and I sat at your lovely breakfast bar, and for some reason I opened your Sainsbury's Nectar card letter, and I took the letter out and I was reading your Nectar card, and you became really, really angry with me, and you shouted at me and you told me to get out of your house because you could never forgive me for opening your post. And then I woke up, obviously. But honestly woke up and it was a really long dream. Then someone else came into the dream and told me that is your big no-no. Like, you don't open post.
What, the Nectar card or
that
the,
is
or
no,
the
like
post?
The boundary is don't open Beckie Batchelor's post. It's hers if it's addressed to her. So just wanted to make sure we're all right.
We're fine.
Okay.
We're fine, darling. That was
Are you
all
sure?
in your imagination.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
When did that happen?
Not last night, the night before, and I really wanted to tell you yesterday, but I couldn't. I was just
to...
like, oh my God. When I saw you, I was like, oh my God, is she still angry with me for opening her post? The things we dream, isn't it? I really love that dissecting of dreams. I don't know anything about them, but something, because I was obviously at your house. Actually, I was probably at your house that night I had the dream, and I was sat in your kitchen. But I wonder what I'm really fascinated to know about, like, what dreams mean.
So we have a book
that
sits in our downstairs toilet, and quite often when we talk about, because so I don't dream a huge amount, but Pete and 51 definitely
Me
do.
too.
Definitely do, and like really vividly, like really, and sort of almost like so. He calls them lucid dreams. So he can literally not just say, oh, it was about me sitting at your... He can walk you through it step by step, and every thought and where it goes. And
and I can remember, I mean, it's a boring dream for those that weren't in my dream, but you know, I left your house. I remember the journey from leaving your house, and the next day someone having to come and talk to me about this awful thing that I'd done in your house, and the meeting afterwards that you and like, they're really my dreams are really in depth. I don't often, well, this is a silly thing to say, isn't it? I was going to say I don't often not remember them, but if you didn't, I wouldn't know that, would I? But I often remember my dreams in the morning. Okay. So I'm sorry that I accidentally in my dream.
That's okay.
It's like the episode of Gavin and Stacey when is it Mick dreams about or dream cheats on Pam or something, doesn't he? About
yes. Oh my God. I cannot believe that's coming back.
So excited. It's literally going to make my Christmas. If you don't know, Gavin and Stacey are doing a Christmas special this year, which is going to it is going to be the last one, isn't it? But I'm obsessed with watching like the clips of them filming. And...
I know. And it's so funny. So in the summer, I went to see, what was the musical Nessa was in?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my God, she was the...
Ruth Jones.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's a musical in London. It's really good.
Okay.
And oh my goodness, it's a film with Whoopi Goldberg that was turned into a musical about nuns.
I reckon so many people... Sister Act?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Anyway, she was in that, and she was the what do you call it, the sister lady. Can't think. Anyway, she was incredible, absolutely incredible. And I would say halfway through the second act, she comes on stage on her own and everybody's applauding her. And it was the day they released the news. It was, you know, the picture of on the Instagram of the script. It was that day, and she just heard everybody applauding. And then there was just this slight pause, and the timing was perfection. And she just went, oh, and the whole place That's it.
screamed.
That's all she said. The whole place just erupted.
Oh my
it
gosh.
was absolutely
It's
superb.
definitely my top 3 like favourite things to watch over and over and over.
Yeah.
Before Simon and I had children, we went and did the Gavin and Stacey tour in Wales.
Okay.
So we went to Barry, and because the house, so Gavin's house in Billericay is obviously in Wales, it's not in Billericay. So you can do the tour to go, and we went and saw Gwen's house and Bryn's house, and like people live in them. So there's the people actually live in where Gwen lived. That's someone's house, and she's made it into a Gavin and Stacey, like a museum. So you knock on the door and you go in her house, but it's actually lives there. But everything is set up like a Gavin and Stacey like shop. But that's where she lives the whole time. It's the weirdest thing.
Amazing.
But I still love it as much now as I did then. It's timeless, isn't it?
It is totally. To be fair, everything that those two do, everything they touch is just,
I know,
gold, absolute gold. James Corden to me is like, everything that he does, I think he's just incredible.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway, yeah, that was my dream. Then we went to Gavin and Stacey. But how are you? Have you had a good week?
Yes, quite productive, I suppose.
Yeah.
We're still in sort of full pre-uni mode. I think we've made all the purchases required. The reason I'm slightly positioned like this, as you can see in my dining room, is because behind me looks a little bit like, well, there's just piles of stuff everywhere. So we are about 3-4 days away from heading off. So everybody's very excited.
Yeah, it's
exciting.
We're
all organised.
You'll be able to clear that room when they've all gone. You'll be able to get all of that stuff out.
I mean,
get that table reset.
There are a lot of lists that I'm making outside of what to take to uni. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I can imagine there is. I hope some fun with me is on one of those lists.
Of course.
Always. I've had a busy week because, well, this will come out a little bit after, but I have been in Copford at Love Local for a year.
I know.
Can you believe that?
It's so exciting. Yeah, well,
I know.
Funny.
I don't know how you... So I feel weird. I feel like it's gone really quickly, but I feel like I've been there a really long time because I feel really kind of solid in that community. So for me, it feels like, wow, I feel like I've been there a really long time. But when I look back at when I was renovating the shop, and that feels like yesterday. So the last 3 weeks has been really exciting for me because I've got new businesses that are coming in. So the new ones are coming in from September to December. Some are staying because they're kind of regular businesses that stay throughout the year. So for me, like I've spoken about this before, rearranging the shop, designing the shop, where to put things is ultimately the reason why I have a shop, because it's my favorite thing to do. So over the last week and the next 2 weeks, I've got new people coming in. But in the middle of that, I also get to decorate the shop. And so when this goes out, it will be last Saturday. I'd have had my big party at the shop to celebrate turning 1. And yeah, I just want people to come down and champion the businesses. I mean, they do anyway, but it feels really special to celebrate one whole year because it's difficult. It's not just difficult running a shop, it's difficult in any retail at the moment. All I am hearing across pretty much the whole board is, that markets have been quite quiet, and that's where ultimately businesses get their a good chunk of their profits from, because they're the events that they're doing that it's difficult times, isn't it? So it feels like the more, I just want to champion it, because I will have by the end of September 58 small businesses in the shop, some new, which is lethal because it's new, and then I want to buy it because it's not been in before and I like it, and because I don't own any of it, because that's not how the shop works. I buy it as you buy it, so it becomes an expensive month for me. Shall we say? But
because you go through, don't you, every quarter?
Yeah, pretty much. You do it? Yeah.
And you go through, and just for those that aren't aware, you effectively ask people to sort of tender for their space, and you then people apply to have their space in your shop, and then you go through, you work out what's required for that season and what people you think would work, not just sort of like in the shop, but
curating it
next
together.
to curating it. So you work out what people would work with each other, because you can't have, 7 people selling cards, for example.
Exactly.
It has to be sort of carefully thought through. So
which is where my wonderful side of my ADHD brain comes in, because the visualization that I'm able to do is, I can do that in my head. It's beyond me that people can't, because I'm
the same.
I know how that shop is going to look. And when I shortlist, I already know that business is going to look really nice next to that, or they're going to complement here, or, there's never been a time where everyone's in and I've gone, oh, I've got too many of this or too many of that. That's like where I find that's what I feel my function is in the business, because then when they're together, they complement one another and the shop looks pretty and inviting. And I just think that it's my favorite thing. And what better month to do it in than the month that I'm my first birthday, and I hope to celebrate a second birthday there as well, and many more. But times are really, really difficult, and it's not that people don't want to come or they don't want to buy stuff. It's across all small businesses. I think it's been a really difficult summer.
So what do you think then, for you, looking back on your year, what do you attribute your sort of success to? There's a question.
So I think that probably maybe let's block out the last 2 months, because they've been difficult in managing personal life, and business life is always tricky. But before that, I honestly think it's being able to see things before they happen. So I can already plan, I already know how Christmas is going to look in the shop. I already know what I need to put out to be able to get these decorations in from these businesses. I'm really good at forward planning visually, not actually physically. Like I'm not good at, I can see it.
You are. But by the very fact that you're forward planning visually, you are forward planning, aren't you?
Well, yes, but it's about the execution, isn't it?
Yes, but you are executing that.
Yeah.
Are you referring to the fact that you're not, sort of writing it all down and sending out all the email? So, but that it's happened.
Yes.
So the very fact that you're able to visualize that and make it happen.
Yeah.
You are being effective. You are effectively forward planning. So thinking ahead about kind of what's required and what's needed, and imagining what it's going to look like. Is
and I think that I've always had a vision for Love Local, and it was always that I wanted it to be a space where people and small businesses, creative businesses, have a space to sell their products. And how it's not, I don't like to class it as a shelf rental. It's like wherever your products are is your little shop. You need to champion that little shop, and you need to tell people that they can buy their products in Love Local, because that's really important that they're telling people where to find it. But what really cemented what I wanted was when I took over next door in the workroom, because my ultimate dream was to have a lovely shop where people can come and buy the kind of shop that you and I love to mooch around, but also having the space next door, which is the workroom, which is like an empty space for people to rent. So it's got tables. It looks beautiful. It does look really lovely.
Perfect,
but it's
for workshops.
Yeah, it is. And that for me was like this is what I envisaged happened. Yeah. I wanted somewhere for creative workshops that I could do and enjoy.
You manifested.
I did not manifest. No, none of that.
Oh, wow.
Did I? Did you manifest for me?
I might have done.
Maybe I manifest without even realizing. So yeah, when that happened, it's been a lot of work, because it's a double business really, because they're run separately. But I also realized I needed some help. And I'm smiling if you're looking at YouTube and not just listening, because that's a really difficult thing that I am learning to
tell me you're not looking at YouTube whilst you're doing this.
No, if you're watching us on YouTube, I meant you could see my face. If you're listening, you can't.
I can see it light up in your glasses.
No, that's just the screen here.
Okay.
Yeah, I now have a little team at Love Local. So I have Kim, who runs the admin for the workroom for me. And what I'm getting better at there is, what's the word? Directing all inquiries to one email address,
offloading stuff.
Rather than seeing the message and going, actually I know the answer to that in Instagram and I could just reply. It then gets confusing. So everything is now, my reply is yes, of course you can inquire, please email this email address, and then Kim manages the workroom admin with me on there. And then I also have lovely Lizzie, who does my life admin for everything. She's like this most incredible person that's come in. She also runs a small business that's in the shop. She's got a pottery business called Crouchley. So I've known Lizzie for a really, really long time, but I was able to employ her from the end of July. She's been with me, so only a month, and she does all of my admin. So anything from my inboxing to all of the contracts for all of the new businesses. They are color coded, they are folded. My inbox, honestly. She unsubscribed all of the things in my inbox that I didn't need. I know, right?
Oh my God, I might just employ her to do that.
I know. But, I'm lucky enough to be able to do that. And I was able to employ both of those people to help me because I have my Access to Work grant, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a government grant, basically, that you can have if you need some support. So a support worker for any kind of physical or mental health condition, and ADHD comes under that umbrella, which is fantastic because it didn't used to. But I had my assessment, which was a really positive assessment for what I need to help my business to succeed, because those things that I struggle with are ultimately what are going to make my business not do as well as what it could do if my brain processed slightly differently or a little bit more neurotypically, because it doesn't. So I was...
And just to sort of recap, and it's quite... Is it different to doing it if you're doing it self-employed compared to if you're with an employer? Do you know?
Yeah, because I am the double person, so you can do it self-employed and employed. The employed part would be different, as in your employer would probably do this claim for you, and then you would have a joint assessment. So not more difficult or less difficult, just very different having to do it for yourself, because you don't have... I don't have a HR department that I can go to and say, I'm struggling with this. But the whole process was incredible for that. It was really, really positive.
And how long did it take?
So I applied I sent the first application last October. I had my assessment, so like my first online assessment in February, March. So it's about 6 months. Well, it's probably changed now, but from last year's dates, 6 months from then. And then it takes a little bit of time really for them to work out what they can do to help you, because then they don't just give you money and you spend it on whatever you want. So you have to go through quite a rigorous form, which is ironic because that's why mine took so long, because obviously I wasn't filling in that form in any form of urgency. And how many times that form went back with an email saying, no, actually, you just need to, could you just rewrite this bit in here? Or, but I did it, and I was really honest in it that, because you do it and it makes you kind of feel a little bit, not inferior, but you're telling people things you can't do. But actually, I know why I can't do them. I know why I've got 98,000 emails in one of my inboxes. I know why that happens, and I know why, and I'm able to communicate that. So it was, I could see how people might find the process difficult in communicating what they need help with, but there are, I just think that people need to talk about it a bit more, because it's really important to be able to share those things. And I got granted 2 funds. So I have a fund for admin support, which I can use to a certain extent for what I need. So I have I have the workroom, I have Love Local admin, and then I also have some in-shop help with like stock taking and things like that. Then I have
how does that manifest itself in terms of, so are you allocated a fixed amount?
Yeah, I'm
or are you
allocated a year.
hours?
Well, it's not a yearly amount. I was allocated a pot of money from the end of June until the end of March, which I presume is because of financial year, rather than if I'd have got this claim in April, I'd probably have had an April to April. So I think it's pro rata. You get a pot of money on your portal, and then you my support workers, which is what they're classed as, invoice me, and then I upload it on a portal. They have to clear it. It goes back to, so let's say Kim puts in her hours, she gives me an invoice, I upload it on the portal, which is just it's literally so simple. And then Kim would get an email to say, is this you, is this correct? And it takes about 3 weeks for them to be paid. So not and then they pay it directly to them out of that.
28 days is standard for an invoice, isn't it?
So, and then they take that out of my pot. So it just kind of, I can use it for where I need to. But they do check things. They definitely do. Like, it's not just a pot of money I can spend on whatever. They've come back and said, a few dates were wrong on some of the, because the part I have to do, I might have got wrong a few times. And it was literally, how many hours did they work on this day? And I got it wrong. But it's fine. And then the second part of money that I was granted was to have some ADHD business coaching. So I'm yet to find, I haven't had time to really look into that, because I want it to be the right person to be able to allow me. That's probably what's different from employed to self-employed, because for me, what I was looking for help with is for people to understand what it's like being a CEO, because that's what I am. I run the business. Just because I don't have a massive team of employees doesn't mean that I'm not the CEO of the company. That I am, but sometimes I feel like I just need a little bit of help with compartmentalizing different parts, because there is a lot that goes into running a business, whether it be a shop, whether it be online, whether it be...
It's 24/7, isn't it? And we probably should say at this point, if you're listening to this and wondering if it's something that applies to you, we are running a workshop.
We are. And that wasn't even a plug. That was genuinely just a conversation we were going to have.
Just sort of, we are. Just sort of led into that.
We are.
So it's basically the Umbrella Hub and yourself. We are joining forces and collaborating, aren't we? And is it 26th of September?
Thursday, 26th September is in person at the workroom at Love Local in the evening. I think it's 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. But obviously that's for local people. So if there's enough demand for it, then I'm sure we can do something on Zoom or online if people have questions. I am by no means an expert. I am just an honest person that has been through the process. I'm happy. The idea is that I would love for people to be able to see how the process works, but also I think that the portal could feel quite overwhelming for people that might put them off. And I would love to show, because I can log on to mine and there's nothing on there that I can't share. So in the in-person one, I think it'll be really good just to see really how simple that is to do.
Show somebody in real time what that looks like. So we had a brilliant in-person meetup on Saturday here. We had 6 people for the Umbrella Hub, and it was just so good. So Anita, my business partner, couldn't make it. She was dropping her son off at uni, and it was just me. And it was just beautiful. It's the only way I can describe it. I love all of them, and I still feel quite overwhelmed afterwards of what is achieved by these people sitting in a room talking about what's going on with them and watching them realize where they are and open up and understand who they are a little bit more. And it's just so special. I struggle to put it into words a little bit. Anyway, one of the conversations that came about was around access to work. And I obviously described that we were doing a workshop, and somebody sort of said it's a sort of 6-month wait, which that was my understanding of it anyway.
Yeah. I think
but
that's
also
general for any kind of
any kind of
like
application.
you're never going to
for
get something
government
next
funding.
week if it means
No.
they have to assess you and make sure that everything is
Absolutely,
right.
and make sure it's all right. And yeah, so I think just to sort of talk a little bit more about the workshop itself, it's more of sort of a body doubling session. So Rhianna's going to be there to talk about her experience, and we're going to sit there and walk ourselves through an application.
Yeah.
So all of us sit there with our laptops or make notes if you've printed them off, whatever, and complete the application as best we can there and then. Anita is a qualified occupational therapist. She is also a coach as well. So she's got a wealth of experience and knowledge around managing this type of issue. I have lived experience myself, much like you. I haven't completed an access to work. I would like to. My situation's a bit more complicated, which I won't go into now. But anyway, it is something that is on my to-do list.
Yeah.
So
I just don't think people know about it, and also you don't have to have a confirmed diagnosis of any.
You don't.
I don't know about any form of mental health condition, because obviously it covers a real big umbrella of reasons as to why you might need an access to work support. But for ADHD, you don't have to have a formal diagnosis. My opinion, complete honestly, I think it helps, because I think if you can send through your report to say that this is, I don't think it's I don't think you've got less chance of having support if you don't have it, but it's definitely something to.
So my situation, for example, I was diagnosed at 16, so that was in 1986. Now, there's no such thing as email in 1986. So I don't have anything official. I don't think the Dyslexic Association that was based in Chelmsford is in there anymore in its same form. So they wouldn't have any record theoretically. The only thing I do have is I have a painting of a competition I won, which, let me tell you,
have you still got it
before or since? I have.
Okay, we'll put a little picture on. Is it what?
It's in my loft. I've got to climb around in my loft, and it's in like my my O-level art folder, and it's basically they did the Dyslexic Association in Chelmsford ran this competition, and I won. And that's all on the back. But that's it. I'm not sure that's going to suffice to the.
But I think that's why. That's why it's moved on so much as to.
Yeah.
Just because, and also the access to have a full diagnosis is really difficult at the moment. So
it's so complicated, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is really complicated and really hard.
I think there's also this cloud of like, oh gosh, you don't want to claim I don't want to claim any benefits or any money, and actually, you just need to take a step back and go. For me, I've only had the support for. Kim has been with me for a really long time, but as in the role that she is in, supporting me in what she does, and bringing Lizzie on as well to do that, has massively changed the running of my business. And I think even the people that are in as businesses would say that. It's not because. It's not because I'm lazy that I haven't asked for this back, or, making sure that everyone's terms and conditions are signed, dated. They have, because it's important for me, for my, for me to have those processes in. And if someone else can do that and make sure that my business is functioning how it should do, legally, then I can do other things.
Exactly. And you can grow the business.
Exactly.
Be more effective.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. So and even if you just want to, maybe we'll sort something out for maybe an online one, because it might just be nice for people to ask questions. But like I say,
email us.
I don't work for, or I'm not advocate. I don't. That's just my lived experience of what and how I've had a really positive outcome of it.
Yes.
So and you can come to when it's Thursday
26th
of September, and
7 till 9.
You can get tickets at the Umbrella Hub, and we'll link everything to your website and Instagram as well, so you can book tickets for that.
You can buy the tickets from there. It's, I want to say £10.
I think it's £10, and I'm even throwing in a drink for you because you'll be at Love Local.
We keep it. All of the workshops that we do and the talks that we do through the Umbrella Hub, we're a kick. So we're a not-for-profit company. So we try and make it as accessible for everybody as humanly possible. So it's £10.
And you'll be right next door to Love Local. So I might even open up the shop for a little late night shopping for you as well, if you want to pop along. So, but yeah, it'd be lovely to have you in the workroom as well, because
I know
it's that's what I want it to be used for, is for.
Well, the last time I was there.
Oh my gosh, we were getting creative.
We were.
I haven't got. Oh, let's hang on. Let's start from the beginning. Beckie and I did a really lovely workshop together. We did it with our mutual friend, an incredible artist, Hannah Buck. So we did a what would we describe it? What did she describe it as?
So it was a contemporary. Yes,
abstract flower workshop. Painting. I think it was. I mean, how joyous was it?
And just some budding artists, clearly, in our group.
Honestly.
I mean, honestly, the output was extraordinary.
It really, and everyone was different as well.
Yes, completely different interpretation.
So basically, Hannah came into the workroom. She made it look beautiful. So she hung her art on the walls, and she had her beautiful easel. She was also painting freely how she would normally as well whilst we were there. We had some beautiful flowers on the setup, on the tables. And we got to ask her advice about, kind of how she paints. But ultimately, it was a really, just a really lovely kind of it wasn't sometimes I love workshops, but sometimes workshops when they are like tutored and you have to get to a certain point I don't mind that, but I think it can be a bit overwhelming,
stressful for people.
There were times where we were just all silent, and just painting away.
Never happens.
I mean, if you knew the group that was in there, near on impossible for us all to be silent at the same time. But it was really good for Hannah as well. Have you got yours?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, show us yours.
Look,
mine isn't here. This you have to go to YouTube to be able to watch this, but we will add it to our Instagram as well. This is what Beckie painted. So we had some really lovely flowers as inspiration from the Petal Girl, who is a florist in Colchester, who grows all of her own flowers on her little flower farm in Ardley, which we painted. Really local, but it was such a lovely day. I come away from there just thinking, and I'm not an artist.
Well, nor am I. And literally, I haven't picked up a paintbrush like that since I left school. Genuinely.
Really?
And funnily enough, I was clearing out. So again, with lots of clearing out at the moment, broken record here. And 50 pulled out from under her bed a whole bag of artwork and art supplies. Literally boxes of chalks and oil chalk, all sorts of different things, and boxes of acrylic paints. So I took those out, put them to one side, along with there's no paintbrushes in there, which is a bit odd, but anyway, I can buy those. And so I sort of offloaded everything else, and I'm left with all of these acrylic paints.
Wow.
So I am definitely going to do that. I'm not just going to say it. I am going to do it.
Why don't we do? We said this last time, but let's say it on here so we have to cement it in. Why don't we do something? We'll do a painting, like something for the podcast.
You know what we should do?
I know what we should do. Should we say it at the same time?
Are you reading my mind?
Should we?
Yes.
What do you think we should do?
Yeah. Paint each other. Faces. And do the big reveal. Yeah.
That's what we should do. We should do like a recording because
oh my God,
I don't even know that we've mentioned this yet, but you can watch us now on the YouTube. I have to say the YouTube. So we have a YouTube channel on there because actually, some people might want to. We're quite visual, aren't we, when we talk about stuff, and if you go over there, you'll get to see what we actually do on camera. But maybe we could do something for the YouTube channel where we paint each other. And then as in paint each other's faces, and then we'll reveal. Love that.
And if you're unfamiliar with that trend, dear Lord, check it out. And actually, the person that introduced me to that was Hannah Buck.
Yes, because she did it at home, didn't she?
Well, she first shared it. That's the first time I saw it. And actually, it was at the same time my daughter came downstairs and had been watching it on TikTok. And it's just some of them are so funny. So funny. It's the husband and wife thing. And oh my goodness.
We should definitely do that.
Hannah's also talked about doing that as a workshop, hasn't she?
I mean, imagine doing that for your hen do.
I know.
Like, have Hannah come, you paint each other, you have some Prosecco. It's, but yeah, Hannah's doing loads of workshops. She's actually, the one that we done in the summer was kind of a pre-workshopy thing, wasn't it? To test some things out. But she does have her workshop, which is the Saturday, 28th of September. Fantastic, and it is at Love Local at the Workroom, 10 o'clock until 12:30, but it is getting really booked up. So you come along and it's just a really relaxed, I would really recommend it. I mean, I recommend
She also shares, so even for those sort of, I'd say it's brilliant for somebody that is looking to maybe take up doing some art, because she shares all her top tips, her brush strokes she uses to do her petals with, the way she creates those really cool drip lines, which I think you've got on. Where's yours? Oh, it's not
Mine's
here.
at the shop. Okay. Mine's on display in the workroom because it's so good. It's not. I just haven't brought it home. But it is. I'm really pleased with mine. Mine's like neon.
We'll put a picture up.
Yeah.
And it's really got the drip lines.
Yes.
And she shows you how to do that. So all those fabulous, really cool techniques that you sort of see these days in some of the artwork. And she just shares everything, so it's so generous. And
we'll link that as well, because I think it did get booked quite quickly, but she is Hannah Buck, but without an H on the end, so Hanna Buck, and you can get them on her website. And she's got loads of photos of us on the day as well, of what people painted, because they were all so different.
They were so different, but also good. Really honestly, good. All of them.
And I loved that. And it come at a time for both, well, actually all of us there, but for you and I, we were just like,
it was quite good.
It was a good time for us to just stop and just be in the moment with some acrylic paints.
Absolutely.
Yes. So you can head along, but we'll link all of that, won't we?
So I was just going to talk a little bit about maybe what we've got planned for next week and what's coming up, because I know I shared this with you the other day, but we've got a lovely interview lined up. Did I share this with you? I can't remember. With somebody I follow on Instagram and have done for a long time, and she's just fabulous. Someone called Joanne Mooney, and she's based in Ireland, and she's uber creative. She does punch needle workshops. She creates punch needle art, and she is incredible.
Her really Instagram is amazing. It brings me joy.
She did, I think probably my favorite punch needle that she's done is of oh my god, I no, not iris. It is
it a plant?
No. A woman. What's her name, with the big glasses and all the jewelry, grey hair? She's recently passed away. Was in at 101, I think.
Oh, Beckie.
Yes. What's her name? Oh my god, I'm going to have to Google it.
I know. I know who it is. Oh god, it was on the
Iris.
No,
Iris?
no, it wasn't. But I'll look it up. You tell us about what will be coming up.
Okay. So yes, so that's coming up.
Yes,
we're going to be having a chat with her and uploading that. And then next week we are focusing on probably one particular subject, which is food.
Yes,
our relationship with food. We've had sort of a few conversations about this, and we wanted to really do this justice. And it's quite an important topic, and I think one which I'm not sure I know anyone this doesn't affect.
Yeah.
So
we wanted to do like a full episode on it, didn't we? So we're not just touching on it.
A full episode on that.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll be doing next week.
I'm excited for that one because I have Iris Apfel.
Thank you. It is Iris.
Yeah, I didn't think it was.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway, it's incredible. Sorry, flipping back. Go and check out Joanne. She's unbelievable.
Yes. So that's going to come up in the near future. We'll definitely let you know when that's going to happen. I'm super excited for that because I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm also a punch needler.
I didn't know that.
I mean, I'm definitely not going to maybe bring that up to Joanne Mooney, but I can see. Yeah, I've got 3 pieces of punch work out that I've made.
You're looking up and to the left. I urge you to go and get it.
No. I can't because... Do you want me to?
Why?
It's going to be a gap, though. I'll get one of them, all right?
Yeah, but that's all right. Okay. I can fill.
If you're watching, my earphones are going out. Hang on a minute.
Okay. Oh, she's moving the table and she's off, going to demonstrate what she's been doing on the punch needle side. I've tried it a few times and I do need to do a workshop because I'm not getting it quite right. I think the fabric I'm using wasn't quite right. Anyway, listen to Joanne. Now here we go. What has she done? Let's have a look. She's putting her earphones
I'm back. But my table, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Okay.
That sounded interesting.
So, you want to do this now?
Yes.
Okay. So this was my first ever punch needle, actually. The others I've just realised are in the girls' bedroom because I did punch needle lettering for them.
Oh my Lord, Rhianna.
What do you think of that, Joanne Mooney?
That's amazing.
Am I in?
That's really clever. And
have you ever done it?
No.
Oh well, let's save punch needle.
I was explaining to everybody as you had gone off that it is something I did try but didn't have much success with because I think I was using the wrong technique or it was just something I
Luckily,
watched.
We've got the expert coming on then.
Well, quite.
This is like, you can see it. Well, you can't see it because you have to go to YouTube to see it. But if you're listening, it's like, I got a really lovely book actually, which I'll share when we chat with her as well, because I think she'll probably have known about it. So I got like a kit, but not to make, it wasn't a pattern. So I designed this, so I drew it. And then I punch needled it. But you kind of learn different. I love punch needle. I think it's one of the most simple and effective ways to do something over like cross stitch or embroidery. I really, really like it. I like the idea of doing it on cushions as well.
That's another live craft we can do.
All over this. Just going to leave this here.
It's really clever.
Thanks.
I love that.
So yeah, I'm excited. What a mixed bag of an episode.
I know. We're all over that, weren't we?
I love that though. Something for the crafters, something for everyone. Yeah. So yeah, next week we will be here chatting about food, nutrition, just how our relationships with food. So that's going to be a really good one. Don't forget to download, listen, subscribe, like,
and share,
comment, head over to YouTube so you can see our pretty little faces. And yeah, just tell your friends about us because we're having so much fun doing this and the feedback has been really good. So please share.
Yes.
And we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye. Oh, shaky. It's my table because I didn't pull it in enough. Pow! Thanks. Good. That I wasn't recording. Oh my God, imagine. I realised at 41 minutes that actually I hadn't recorded even the audio.
Yes.
That's how they do it on...
Even if it does.
That's how they do it when they talk to Michael on Rob and Josh.
Yeah, Parenting Hell.
Yeah, they go, Michael, look it up. And then he comes on and goes, yes, that's correct.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Google the 101-year-old who's got glasses like this.
Marie, I've just realised we're not going to call you Producer Marie. We're going to call you PM.
PM. Bring in the PM. Marie, can you do this? It's the funniest thing.
Well, it's difficult to know unless we can see you, Marie. So I can't do it.
So hold your hands
go like
this.
that, and then
turn them upside down so your fingers are here. Here.
I can't.
Yeah, that's it. And now bring the glasses up.
Oh, yes, I can.
Yes,
I can.
Yeah, turn your hands upside down. Yeah, and now bring your fingers up to your eyes. So funny. I made your family do it, didn't I?
You did.
And the ones that I knew would be able to do it, did it.
Good. It's a double jointed thing. Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Have we written an intro? Yep. Yep.
Access to work. Do we want to?
Yep.
If I just put off to uni.
Yep.
Creative workshops.
Okay, thanks.
And I'm not going to say, but and the next guest.
Yeah, but it's not next week, is it? And coming up, we no.
No, hang on. We're doing an intro to this episode, aren't we? We talk about up and coming guests.
Yes, and up and coming guests.
Yeah, creative workshop.
Okay.
Rhianna's on it.
Yeah, I'm on it.
She's using Google. Gemini? Google Gemini? Yeah.
What did you say? Uni? What did you write, Dex?
Off to university. Off to uni. Boo! I know the concentration on her face. She's so still. It's like she's frozen.
But I haven't. No. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's just wing it.
Come on then. Yeah.
Okay. You start.
See what happens.
You start and you do uni and I'll do Love Local and creative workshops coming up.
Okay, I'll do Gavin and Stacey. How did we get to Gavin and Stacey?
Something about, because I told you that I had a dream about you.
Oh yeah, dreams. Oh yeah.
This is the short intro, though, isn't it? Coming up in episode 3.
Okay. It really doesn't matter, Marie, at the moment.
No,
don't worry
about it.
Tell me when. Coming up in episode 3, we talk about how my kids are off to uni, and we chat a little bit. I'm going to start that again.
I was waiting for that. 3, 2, 1.
Coming up in episode 3, we talk a little bit about how my kids are just off to university this weekend, and we chat about Gavin and Stacey, how much we love them, and how it's sort of linked to dreams. Is that right? No.
I'm starting. Fucking hell.
Go on then. I'm not very good at the starting bit, but I'm good at following on. Yeah, go.
Coming up in episode 3, we are chatting about Beckie's children going off to uni. We also chat about my dream that initiated our conversation of our absolute love of Gavin and Stacey.
We talk about
I don't think we can wing it, can we? I just don't think we can wing it.
Hang on. Let me start that again.
No, I'm starting. Right, I've got it. I don't think that we should mention Gavin and Stacey.
No. Okay.
I'm just going to... Okay, list. Right, let's just do it. Okay. Yeah. Coming up in episode 3, we are chatting about our creative workshops that we've done together over the summer and what we have coming up in the future. I chat about a quite surreal dream that I had about Beckie and I, but we're all good now. And also, Beckie's children are going off to uni. So a big moment there. What else have we got?
Your first birthday at the shop. A very momentous moment. We talk a little bit about that. I think that's it. Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah. Should we let's do that again? I'm not going to say your kids, though. You say your kids, and I'll say love local. I'll say love local. You say your kids at uni and upcoming workshops.
I'll say your birthday. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. I'll do uni and workshops.
Yeah. Okay.
Okie doke.
Coming up in episode 3, we chat about a very real dream I had about Beckie and I, and how that led on to us chatting about our absolute love of Gavin and Stacey. Also, we are celebrating 1 year of Love Local in Copford, and I chat about all of my plans ready to celebrate that.
As well as that, we chat about how my kids are just off to university and what that might bring. And what was the next one? I've forgotten. I'm useless. What was the next thing?
We need a script.
No.
No.
Yeah. Okay.